Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I love it. I love it. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, thanks.
Steve, I've never seen you look better. It is opening day of the baseball season.
Despite
one of the
stitches,
great days.
huh?
What's that?
Despite the stitches?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kat, that is good. Kat, our producer, just surprised us with that. Nicely done.
How appropriate.
It is. I've never seen you look better.
A couple of leather heads here.
Really, a couple of bobbleheads.
Yeah.
How you doing, everybody? It is Thursday, the 29th day of March, 2018. It's opening day of the baseball season. I am on record. I will say it before. I will say it again. I will repeat this. This should be a national holiday. There should be no school. There should be no businesses. Everybody should go to the ball game.
Hey, it's the national sport.
I love baseball.
You know.
It's my favorite. Everybody knows that. And so, as you can tell by our set today, we've changed things around a little bit. We got our Lou Gehrig bobblehead, and we got our Jay Buhner bobblehead, and we got our baseball.
That's
and, of
right.
course, we have our hockey puck because
And
our
Dan's
checker.
got his glove.
I got my glove that I've had for 8 million years. Ta-da. I'm ready for baseball. I'm just so excited. Everybody's 0-0, and they get to start anew. The hockey puck is here because Arch is here. Arch Ecker will be here in the second half of the show. The Wenatchee Wild moving on. They've moved further down the road. Of course, they took care of Merritt and they took care of Vernon. Next up, the Trail Smoke Eaters. Game 1 of the best-of-7 series begins tomorrow night at the Town Toyota Center. Arch Ecker will be here in the second half of the show. Always fun to see Arch.
Appropriate name for a hockey team, especially given the fire history up in British Columbia.
Yeah, I mean, they last summer, remember, they were eating smoke all
Darn
summer long
right.
up in British Columbia. They even sent some of it down our way. We didn't ask for it, so Arch will be in. We'll be talking baseball. Mariners get going. King Felix takes the mound tonight, 7:10 first pitch at the Safe. For the first time since they opened Safeco Field 19 years ago, they have a brand new field. They replaced the entire field.
Really?
Over the wintertime. They had a fascinating interview with the head groundskeeper at Safeco Field who's been there since they opened it. And he said because of the weather and the fact that the grass grows year-round in Seattle, they've added sand continuously over the last 19 years. He said the field is actually 4 inches taller, higher than it was when they opened Safeco Field in the summer of 1999.
No kidding.
And they decided they just can't keep doing that anymore.
Well,
so,
isn't that how Seattle was built?
I think
basically?
pretty much, yeah.
You know?
So they have a brand new field. That's kind of cool. It's a neat thing.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting. I was listening to a piece, some kind of a radio show, but they were talking to a groundskeeper at one of the stadiums. And he was saying that the grounds crew actually pays more attention to the dirt than they do the lawn.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yes, they do. So dirt is inert, as I learned a long time ago from my friend Bonnie Orr, and they put in new dirt too. It's a whole new field.
Yeah.
It's a whole new field. So baseball is
I remember
here.
when they first opened Dodger Stadium, they didn't have dirt, they had crushed brick.
Really?
Yeah, that's what they had. That's what made the grounds so, because they had such a fast team.
That's right.
And you lay down a bunt on crushed brick, it's going to, you know.
The first year they opened Dodger Stadium, they realized that they put home plate 2 inches further closer than they were supposed to be. And so for the very first year, and I think you know this, the foul poles were actually completely in foul territory, and they're not supposed to be. If you hit the foul pole with a fly ball, it's a home run, but it was actually because they misaligned it on the engineering thing. So just for that 1 year, they had a special dispensation rule that Major League Baseball issued that if you hit the foul pole, it was a foul ball.
There was
for that 1
also
year.
another kind of problem they had when they first opened, opening day, Dodger Stadium, 1962.
Yep.
No drinking fountains. No drinking fountains in the stadium at all.
Oh, wow.
Did you know that?
They neglected to put them in?
They
or?
asked Walter O'Malley, the owner of the Dodgers at the time, what's the deal? No drinking fountains. He said, let them drink beer.
Ooh. And they did.
True
Yeah.
story. There were no drinking fountains.
Did they put them in eventually?
Yeah, they did,
Okay,
yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised about that. So here we go. Opening day of the baseball season. Steve's got the news, quite a bit of news to get to. Today in history, obscure holidays, birthdays. It's Thursday. That means Pet of the Week is back for its second big year with our own Megan McPherson. We'll see if we can get another animal adopted from the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society. Good looking weekend weather forecast. Easter Sunday looks about perfect, Steve. And they're going to have just enough breeze to fly kites at Kiwanis Park in Aniat on Saturday morning. That's looking good as well. So blue skies up above. Everyone's in love. Let's move forward, shall we?
Sun's playing peekaboo with us this morning.
It is. Let's take a look at what's going on around North Central Washington with our Valley View cameras. Good morning. The cross camera always bats lead off.
Oh, that's a dramatic shot there.
I love that analogy.
Looking north west towards Birch Mountain.
And that reminds me, Randy Smith, the cross guy, will be here tomorrow.
Oh, good.
On this show. Tomorrow is Good Friday, of course, and the Easter weekend is almost upon us. Camera 2 takes us to, see what Kat decided. That's up in Waterville, I believe, pointed just a little bit. So that's a nice sunrise there. So Waterville, just to give you an idea, it would be kind of to the left there. I don't think it's quite in shot. I think if the camera was moved a little bit more to the north, you would see the lovely hamlet of Waterville, but that's an incredible view up there. Good to see up there, Waterville. These cameras courtesy of Localtel Sky-Fi high-speed wireless internet, and of course still quite a bit of snow up there. Camera number 3. We say good morning to, that's Birch Mountain. That's Badger, I'm sorry, it's Badger Mountain. That's Cougar Ridge. Okay, it's Cougar Ridge is pulled back. Cougar Ridge and Badger Mountain are in the same general location. Badger Mountain's considerably higher up. That's Cougar Ridge pulled way back.
Old station there in the distance.
Otabashim Bridge. You can see Omi Garden. You can see Sunny Slope. You can see the Cascades. That's an incredible view up there. Cougar Ridge, of course, was named after Andrew Jackson's vice president, Cougar Ridge. Next up, we have, what do we have? We have...
Oh, look at this shot.
Is that the Upper Butte pointed the other direction? That's Bear Mountain pointed the other direction. That's an incredible view. Just gorgeous up there. Good morning, Chelan.
It's like a John Marshall photograph, doesn't it?
It does. That is just beautiful. Just beautiful. Is that, I think I just saw Bigfoot. I think I just saw Sasquatch.
No, that was, I think that was Eric.
Is that Eric? Okay. I know he's been off this week. So good morning to our friends up in Chelan. We are the 8th rated local morning TV show in the greater Chelan area. The Nielsen's just came out.
A little bit of a breeze. I'm watching the trees there in the foreground.
I love these cameras. I love these cameras. And there we are, back again. I am Stitch Face Dan alongside Baseball Head Steve on this, the opening day of the baseball
Call me
season.
Night Train. Yeah.
Caitlin is having way too much fun.
Can I call you Mudcat?
Yeah, call me Mudcat.
Okay.
Yeah, call me Cy. Call me Cy. I don't think we've ever looked better, to be honest with you, Steve. Caitlin, I'd like to see you right after the show. There you go. From the National Weather Service, your forecast. Overcast today, no rain in the forecast. It's kind of a cloudy day. Credit is due, Steve. Yesterday's high, 59, pretty much exactly what the National Weather Service predicted. So high overcast today, no precipitation. Temperatures slightly above normal.
Actually,
a little bit
slightly
of wind.
below what they were yesterday.
Yeah. We hit 59 yesterday, 61 today, 62 Friday, lots of sunshine. Mixed bag Saturday, a weak frontal system comes in on Saturday. We're going to have a little bit of breeze. We don't really have that graphically shown, Steve. Friday afternoon into early Saturday, wind's going to pick up a little bit, about 6 to 14 miles an hour on Friday. A little gustier on Friday night. Calms down Saturday. Light and variable wind, but just enough to fly a kite up in Aniat. And then Easter Sunday, mostly sunny and 60. This is good because yesterday at this time, for Easter Sunday, April 1st, they were saying partly sunny. Now they say mostly sunny.
Good.
However, next week, unsettled. Wet and windy days. An active weather pattern is set up for most of next week, the first full week in April. A heads up there, but I got no complaints with that forecast.
Yeah, that Sunday looks pretty good for Easter egg hunting, doesn't it?
Absolutely, it does indeed. That's your forecast from the National Weather Service at 9 minutes after the hour on this Thursday edition of Wake Up in Angie Valley. To the passes as we go. That's a live shot of I-90. Trust me, Snoqualmie Pass is down there. No advisories, no restrictions. The roadway is bare and wet. There is light rain coming down. There is thick fog, and avalanche control work is scheduled. It will begin at 9 o'clock this morning. 9 o'clock this morning. It will last, they say, about an hour. And it will be closed in its entirety across all the lanes of I-90, milepost 34 to milepost 47. Down goes the snow. They, again, say it'll last just about an hour or so, and it will be at 9 a.m. this morning. Avalanche control work on I-90. If you're on the pass now or on your way, you got no problems, just poor visibility. Roadway's fine. This is a live shot of Stevens we're going to take you to next, where traction tires are advised. It is snowing lightly on Stevens Pass. You have some snow and slush on the roadway at the very top of the summit, not on the entire highway, just the very top of the summit. Kind of a bit gloppy. Outside of that, it's okay. Traction tires are advised because of the slush on the roadway. It is snowing lightly. They're going to get about an inch today on Stevens Pass, and that's about it. Blewett looks fine. No advisories, no restrictions. The roadway is bare and dry. Nothing coming down out of the sky. No advisories or restrictions on Blewett. No advisories or restrictions on I-90. Stevens has a traction tire advisory. And once again, We do have a avalanche control work beginning at 9 o'clock this morning on I-90, and it will last about an hour.
DOT crews also have started the process of clearing the snow from the SR-20 North Cascades Pass. That started on Monday.
Yeah, they're working west to east for a couple of weeks, and then they flip-flop and they work east to west, and eventually the two shall meet. That's good news for our friends.
That's when Winthrop comes out of hibernation.
That's right. Hey, good morning, Winthrop, by the way. We are the #1 rated local mornings show in Winthrop. I don't know. And a quick reminder before I forget, tomorrow will be our last regular pass report update. The DOT kind of mothballs the pass reports on a regular basis unless conditions warrant. So tomorrow will be our last regular pass report of the winter driving season, and starting Monday, unless we need to talk about the passes, you can just assume everything will be okay, all right? 11 minutes after the hour. Quick 1-minute break. When we come back, the news with Steve Hare. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live this morning from Studio 2 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Life channel.
High school sports is back this spring on the NCW Life channel. Do you like baseball? We've got you covered with the Wenatchee Panthers and the Eastmont Wildcats. How about softball? We have you covered there too with fast pitch action right here. How about lacrosse? Yep, got you covered there too with the Wenatchee Valley Thunder. And of course, there's boys soccer. Whatever your interest, we've got you covered on your home for high school spring sports, the NCW Life channel.
The Arbiter of Stoke is a series that highlights a variety of outdoor adventure sports that are available in the Pacific Northwest. I dedicate my time to enjoying this natural playground. The decision is yours. How will you keep your stoke?
And now it's time for your local news update with Steve Hare.
And on this Thursday, it's March 29th, and we have a lot of news to get to around north central Washington this morning. First of all, they're calling it a non-failure emergency. Grant County PUD officials report a leaking spillway at Priest Rapids Dam will force the lowering of that reservoir. Problem was discovered after inspection drilling revealed leaking in the spillway monoliths. Now, officials say the dam will continue to generate electricity as the water level behind the structure will remain at normal operating minimums while that inspection work continues. Now, the situation is far different than the one at WUWV Dam back in 2014. You may recall it's when a fracture was found on the spillway. That repair required a prolonged reservoir drawdown that affected all the dams upstream. In fact, WUWV Dam has since been completely repaired, and there's no danger to life or property from the existing situation. Priest Rapids Dam, by the way, is on the Columbia River near the town of Mattawa. WUWV Dam is 19 miles upriver from Priest Rapids Dam. Also, an OMAC man wanted on a Department of Corrections warrant was arrested Monday after he tried to hide under a box spring mattress inside a Bridgeport apartment. Douglas County Sheriff Harvey Jesdahl says 24-year-old Derek Charlie, the suspect, ran into the apartment after a deputy spotted him and recognized him as a wanted felon. When the deputy approached the residence, he was first told by a woman inside that Charlie had left and that the person entering the home was actually her daughter. Well, that's not the case. She finally let the deputies inside, where they found Charlie hiding under the mattress. He was arrested along with a female. She's been identified as 28-year-old Michelle Olvera Cruz, and her charge is rendering criminal assistance. Apple Valley chapter of the American Red Cross hosting the 2014 Hometown Heroes event tonight at the Wenatchee Convention Center. It's an annual event, celebrates the power of humanitarian spirit in our community by honoring local citizens for doing something remarkable to help others. Rick Isaacson with the Red Cross explains.
The Hometown Heroes has been going on for quite a number of years. We have one. Each chapter has one, and of course we're an affiliate with the Greater Inland Northwest chapter, Wenatchee office. We have our own Heroes Awards here, and first part of the year we send out notification that we're going to have it coming up in March. during Red Cross Month and asking for nominees to be submitted to our offices. Nominations come in. We review those. Sometimes if we had a lot of them, we have a committee that gets together and makes a choice of the best ones of the group. We're trying to recognize local heroes for their selflessness and courage. Nominees can be friends, family, neighbors, firefighters, police officers, or military members. They come from all walks of life. And they can be either professionally trained or good Samaritans. No categories. They're just ordinary citizens or rescuers that have rescued a person from danger, or individual acts that exemplify the spirit of the Red Cross, such as organizations. They come from Chelan, Douglas, Okanagan, and Grant counties. This is our responsibility here for the Wenatchee office.
And again, that's Rick Isaacson with the Red Cross office here at Wenatchee. During tonight's event, which starts at 6 o'clock, it's at the Convention Center. Individuals will be recognized in several award categories, including Spirit of the Red Cross Hero, Humanitarian Hero, also Law Enforcement Dispatch Heroes, and 911 Hero as well. Plans by Eastmont Metropolitan Parks and Recreation District to develop a new park in East Wenatchee are moving forward. At Tuesday's City Council meeting, Park Project Manager Andrew McConico provided an update on the plans as they're being developed in concert with the Trust for Public Lands.
So some of the ways that we're going to look at funding this, it's going to be going through kind of private-public partnerships. We'll fund this through a variety of sources. We're going to be applying for state grants, including the Washington Wildlife and Recreation Program and the Land and Water Conservation Fund. As we have a clearer picture of community needs for this park, we hope to work more with municipal partners, local businesses, and private philanthropy to better support this. And we, as a Trust for Public Land, generally knows how to be kind of creative and find funding to make important projects like this happen. We also know that it's incredibly important to not just do these projects, but to do them well.
Now, that parkland is located near Columbia Valley Community Health Clinic on 9th Street and Eastmont Avenue. Parks District teaming up to acquire the land with the City of East Wenatchee, Columbia Valley Community Health, and the Trust for Public Lands. McConico said the project plans are to continue with public outreach efforts to determine what kinds of park features the community would like to see. Said if all goes according to plan, park construction could occur in the year 2020. Interesting fact here is that it would be the first park to be developed in East Wenatchee in 60 years. Also, Chelan County PUD, Chelan Douglas Land Trust, and the State Department of Fish and Wildlife have agreed to open the Sage Hills Trail on Saturday. Now, the trail usually remains closed until April 1st to protect mule deer habitat during the winter months, and while deer numbers are still relatively high, the lack of snow at the lower elevations in the Wenatchee foothills provides the deer with ample options to find forage away from trail users. Now, the PUD's Wildlife Program Manager Von Pope urges users to stay on the approved trails, keep pets leashed, and give deer a wide berth. Meanwhile, Land Trust volunteers will greet trail users Saturday at 3 points along the trail with fruit bars donated by Liberty Orchards. Trail information. Look for them starting at 9 a.m. at the Horse Lake Reserve and Balsam Road trailheads, plus on the trail between Sage Hills and Day Drives. Boy, oh boy, beautiful trail system that we have here in the city of Wenatchee. So get out and enjoy it Saturday as it reopens. Wenatchee will soon be the newest home of a new program. It's called the 1 Million Cups program. We just learned about it. It apparently is a program to engage, educate, and connect local entrepreneurs. It's all about starting up new businesses over a cup of coffee.
1 Million Cups is a weekly educational program developed by the Kauffman Foundation.
It's a place where our entrepreneurs can come and connect within the community.
There's a real kind of vibe or a real energy here that's about supporting entrepreneurs.
We have 2 presenters each week.
2 entrepreneurs, they come and tell about their journey.
They each have about 6 minutes to present.
You're telling people what you're up to, and you're essentially getting feedback from them.
There's about 15 to 20 minutes of Q&A.
All the questions that they asked us really got us thinking about new ways to think about our business.
It was good to just be able to get that feedback from the rest of the community.
So over the years, we've added more cities. It creates a great energy here to see what's happening across the country.
Last question for you, what can we as a community do for you?
The what can we as a community do to help you question is what really coalesces the community around every single presenter.
When somebody applies to present to 1 Million Cups, they're instructed to watch a series of videos through the Kaufman Founder School website.
It's invaluable information for someone who's founding a startup.
I felt better prepared, I felt more confident, and I think a little more focused than I would have been otherwise. Had I not watched the videos of the Founder School, so it was a great way to prepare.
I really like the educational component of 1 Million Cups because it does create that open forum.
You're going to hear great ideas that will help you start thinking even more about what you want to do with your business.
What I've learned from other entrepreneurs is very, very valuable.
The cool thing about 1 Million Cups is that you're amongst other people like yourself.
Just hearing someone talk about their startup, it just was magical to think, wow, there's other people out there like myself.
Sitting in a room with other people that have ideas too, it helps people to leave thinking, you know what, my idea is worth something. It's worth pursuing. It's worth going after it. Even if it looks like a challenge, I should still go out and try to do it.
Interesting concept. The first meeting is April 4th. The inaugural 1 Million Cups program in our valley will feature presentations by 2 local businesses that are 5 years old or less. We're told that if you're interested and you'd like to apply, you can do it online, 1millioncups.com/Wenatchee Valley. In fact, we're going to be bringing you special presentations on the 1 Million Cups program in the coming weeks on our NCW Live channel, so be watching for that as well, as Jay Seebeck is putting together some features on 1 Million Cups. But it's a kind of a novel approach to starting new business ventures here in the Wenatchee Valley.
Go get them. Entrepreneurs, the backbone of the economy. Excuse me, 22 minutes after the hour on this Thursday, opening day of the baseball season. Brings back a very fun memory that I had about 30 years ago. It was 30 years ago, watching the opening day of the baseball season, and it was Kansas City and Toronto at the Sky Dome, and George Bell of the Toronto Blue Jays hit 3 home runs on opening day, and I'll never forget the announcer saying he's on pace to hit 486 home runs this year. That's part of the optimism of opening day.
You know, and if there's going to be any optimism, I mean, the poor Mariners have not been in the playoffs since when? 2001?
Yep, 16 years. Longest drought of any professional sports team regarding baseball, football, hockey, NBA. They haven't been to the playoffs in 16 seasons.
I'd be happy to see them come in as a wild card, and I think they have a chance to do it this year.
If this pitching staff stays healthy, and by the pitching staff I mean Felix stays healthy. Remember, he didn't do anything this spring. He got hit in the arm with that liner. He only had three appearances all spring traiing.
But the final 2 appearances were pretty good.
They were pretty good. They say, there we are again. They say he's going to throw about 85, 90 pitches. That's his pitch count.
And Ichiro is starting in left field.
Yeah, at 44 years old. Couple of baseball heads. I love it. Baseball! Opening day of the baseball season. They already had their first rain out, by the way. So they're not going to play in Cincinnati today.
They call you foul ball. How's that?
That's so appropriate. The news with Grant Olson, who does not look like Steve nor I today, will come your way at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. The news with Grant Olson, available right here on the NCW Live channel. You can also watch it on demand. Watch it on demand by going to our website at ncwlife.com. And if you want to help us out and give us a news tip, just say aye. You can do it, and we make it as easy for you as possible, Steve.
ncwlife.com. Really, that's the place to go. Our website, just click the little contact tab at the top of the page. Get in touch with us that way. You can contact us on Facebook and Twitter. Our hotline, by the way, to see news happening is 888-NCWL, 888-6295. And you can always contact me by email.
Sure.
At that address you see below, news@ncwlife.com. WUWV-2018-03-29.com.
Quick programming reminder, Steve will be off tomorrow, so tomorrow's news will be delivered by the handsome and debonair Grant Olson. Quick heads up on that. And then Grant and I have a long day tomorrow because we got baseball tomorrow. Go Dodgers, go Yankees. Let's go
pennant,
Yankees.
I got that pennant at the age of 9 years old.
In 1971.
1959, when the Dodgers actually did play in the Coliseum.
In the Coliseum. You're still a Dodger. I mean, you were.
Oh, yeah.
Your team was one game from winning it all for the first time in 30 years last year.
My dad still has his tickets.
He still has the season tickets. Of course, I'm an unabashed Yankee fan, but I also follow the Mariners, and we all follow the Mariners up here in the Great Pacific Northwest. And I'd love to see Seattle have a great year.
I'd love to see Seattle get in there.
Yeah. So optimism runs everywhere this time of the year. In mid-July, it could be another story. 26 minutes after the hour. When we come back, baseball will be the topic of sports. When we come back, you're watching Wake Up in Angie Valley on the NCW Life channel.
I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCW Life channel.
I'm Eric Grandstrom with NCW Life Sports.
I'm NCW Life News Director Steve Hare.
Catch us on Localtel Channel 12.
You can watch us on Charter Channel 19 or stream us live on ncwlife.com.
Follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook.
Where we cover the local high schools, the Wenatchee Wild, and the pro teams out of Seattle.
On Saturday, we have a 90% chance of rain.
Catch it all right here on the NCW Life channel.
We're here to celebrate every season with award-winning dining, full-service spa, and 170 waterfront guest rooms. Come experience our tradition of hospitality at Campbell's Resort on Lake Chelan.
High clouds, 43 degrees outside of our studios. Overcast skies today, high of about 60, but a very pleasant Easter weekend on the way. All right, 27 minutes after the hour, opening day of the baseball season. For the first time in 50 years, every team was scheduled to play on opening day. We've already had our first rain out. The Nationals and Reds game in Cincinnati, scheduled for this afternoon, was rained out. They made that decision not to play yesterday. Safeco Field, Felix Hernandez will make his 11th opening day start. But of course, he had to survive that liner off his arm that limited him to just 3 spring outings. He pitched 3 2/3 innings in 63 pitches last Saturday. And manager Scott Service says he'll throw about 85 to 90 pitches today. He'll take on the Indians' Corey Kluber, who of course is the defending American League Cy Young Award winner. He won the big trophy last year. The Mariners have their eyes on ending Major League Baseball's longest postseason drought, 16 years. For the Indians, of course, they're shooting for their 3rd straight playoff trip. First pitch at the safe is 7:10, and yes, Ichiro will be starting in the outfield at the age of 44. His first trip back to Safeco Field as a Mariner since July 22nd of 2012. Baseball is upon us. Hockey, of course, we are deep in the playoffs. Tonight is Thursday. That means it is hockey night here on the NCW Live channel. We're going to replay Game 4 of the Wild versus Vernon series that was played back on March 21st. Of course, Game 1 against the Trail Smoke Eaters is tomorrow. Game 2 Saturday at the Town Toyota Center. Arch Ecker will be my guest in the second half of the program. Go Wild. 29 minutes after the hour, it is time for Today in History. I'm sorry, it's time for the obscure holiday of the day today on this March 29th. And on March 29th, 1973, the last U.S. combat troops left Vietnam, and today is National Vietnam War Veterans Day. It was signed into law on March 28th, 2017 by President Donald Trump. A lot of different states celebrated this day. It's kind of a patchwork of holidays. Some states had it on the 29th, some states had it on the 30th, some states did it, some states didn't. It is now a pseudo-national holiday. People are encouraged to fly the American flag on this date. It is now 1 year old today. National Vietnam War Veterans Day. About 8 million troops served in the armed forces at one point or another during the course of the Vietnam War. About 58,000 people died in that war. Today is National Vietnam War Veterans Day. Thank you for your service. 30 minutes after the hour. Now we do Today in History. It is March 29th. And on this date in 1886, the gentleman that you will see here, a guy by the name of John Pemberton, it's a big beard for John, he brewed the very first batch of Coca-Cola in a backyard in Atlanta, Georgia. And in the advertisement, he claimed, Pemberton did, that Coca-Cola cures diseases, including morphine addiction, indigestion, nerve disorders, headaches, and impotence. One of the reasons that Coca-Cola was so popular back in the early days is that it had cocaine in it. They don't do that anymore. Coca-Cola, first brewed by John Pemberton on this date in 1886. Today is the anniversary of the 23rd Amendment there's the Coca-Cola ad. The 23rd Amendment to the United States Constitution was ratified on this date in 1961. Before this date, believe it or not, if you lived in Washington, D.C., you could not vote in presidential elections. The seat of democracy, and you couldn't vote. So according to the terms of the 23rd Amendment, Washington, D.C. is allocated as many electors as it would have if it were a state, but no more electors than the least populous state, which is currently Wyoming. Wyoming has 3 electors, thus Washington, D.C. cannot have more than 3 electors, no matter how big it gets, but at least the people who live in Washington, D.C. can now vote for the presidency. Couldn't before that. Seems silly, doesn't it? And the people in Baltimore have never gotten over this, even though they have their own football team. It's very good. This is the anniversary in 1984 when in the dead of night, the Baltimore Colts loaded all of their possessions into 15 Mayflower trucks in the wee small hours of the morning and beat a trail to Indianapolis and became the Indianapolis Colts. Baltimore left town, moved to Indianapolis on this date in 1984. Eventually, of course, the Browns would move to Baltimore and become the Ravens. It's convoluted stuff. And finally, 32 minutes after the hour, we have birthdays for you. A presidential birthday, we always highlight those. John Tyler, the 10th president of the United States, was born in this state in 1790, died at the age of 71 in 1862. When William Henry Harrison died a month into office, John Tyler became the first vice president to become president without actually being elected to the office. Because William Henry Harrison only lived a month, John Tyler served longer than any president in U.S. history who was never actually elected to the presidency. They didn't really know what to do. This had never happened before. John Tyler, to his credit, took the oath of office, moved into the White House, said, I am now the president. I'm not the acting president for the next 4 years. I am the president. He assumed full presidential powers and started that very important tradition, a very important milestone. And my favorite fact about John Tyler, this will blow you away. John Tyler had 14 children. He was married twice. He had 14 children. Although he died 156 years ago, 2 of his grandchildren are still alive. Can you believe that? John Tyler, 10th president, born in the state in 1790. We mentioned baseball. We mentioned the Cy Young Award. The man it was named after was born on this date. Denton True Cy Young, born on this date in 1867, died at the age of 88. Back in 1955, the great American baseball player. There's a reason that the award that they hand out every year in the American and National League is named the Cy Young Award after this gentleman, is because he set career records that will never, ever be broken in a million billion years. 511 career wins. That will never be broken. 7,536 innings pitched. That will never be broken. 749 complete games. Are you kidding me? The great Cy Young, born in the state in 1867. And Sam Walton, the man who founded Walmart and Sam's Club, was born in the state in 1918, passed away a very rich man in 1992 at the age of 74. At the time of his death, Walmart employed 380,000 people, annual sales of $50 billion, 1,735 Walmarts nationwide. Sam Walton, 34 minutes after the hour. The Pet of the Week is back. It's a regular Thursday tradition around here. That's coming up next. Everyone is entitled to Mike Magnotti's opinion and Art Checker talking wild hockey. It's all coming up between now and 8 o'clock. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live from Studio 9 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Life channel.
Megan here with the NCW Life channel, and we are here with Don Davies, the Executive Director of the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society, and we're also here with Hannah. Don, can you tell us a little bit about Hannah?
Sure. Well, what we know about Hannah is that she was a stray, so we don't really know her background other than she's been here about 20 days, and she's young. She's only about 1.5 years old, and she's very curious. She's a little shy, so I think she would do best in kind of a quiet home that she can just kind of explore and then come out on her own terms. And but I think look at her. She's beautiful coloring. Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about the adoption process?
Yeah, it's easy. You just come into our shelter at 1474 South Wenatchee Avenue. We're open from 11 a.m. to 6, Monday through Friday, or 11 to 3 on Saturdays and Sundays. And one of our adoption counselors can help you to fill out the application, and she's spayed and ready to go home.
Awesome. Hannah, do you have anything to say?
A mouse would be nice. She really wants to just investigate.
Yeah, very pretty.
Good kitty. Oh, she's beautiful.
The Wenatchee Valley Humane Society is located at 1474 South Wenatchee Avenue and is open Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Give them a call at 509-662-9577 or visit their website at wenatcheehumane.org.
The NCW Life Channel is your home for local news, local weather, and events including live local high school sports. Watch inspiring local shows featuring local people. Don't miss Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Let's Learn, Guada TV, Street Talk and Other Stuff, the 12th District, Life with Lisa, and the Arbiter of Stoke. NCW Life Channel is your local TV station.
So this is Honda listening to its customers. They did a poll and women overwhelmingly came back and said that a lifetime warranty would be most important to them. Hondas are already incredibly reliable, and this lifetime warranty just adds that additional peace of mind that if anything ever goes wrong, it's covered. Most manufacturers anticipate their cars to be on the road for anywhere from 7 to 10 years. With a Honda, you're getting 15 to 20. Now with our new lifetime warranty, it's going to be extended even beyond that.
We know crunch.
RLS Productions is proud to bring to the NCW Life Channel the Concerts in the Gardens Summer Series held at Omi Gardens. The series features performances from Rare Earth's Peter Rivera, Heart by Heart, Too Slim and the Tail Draggers, The Infinity Project, the Wenatchee Swingin' Big Band, and a whole host of other great acts. Tune in Wednesdays at 1:30 and 7 p.m. and Fridays and Saturdays at 10:30 a.m. and 9 p.m. RLS Productions Concerts in the Gardens Summer Series, only on the NCW Life Channel.
Hi, I'm Lehman Williams, General Manager of Crown Furniture, and I'm inviting you to take advantage of our spring closeout savings event. Save up to 45% off store-wide. Since 1963, Crown Furniture has taken great pride in providing unsurpassed quality, comfort, and selection. So if you're looking to fill that first-time apartment, or you want that built-in America quality with your own custom flair, stop by today and see us at 736 South Wenatchee Avenue, across from Stan's.
Walkabout Grill, open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner in downtown Wenatchee and now downtown Leavenworth, where eating out is eating healthy.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, there's been no comprehensive solution to school shootings. There's not. There's no one thing that if we do that one thing, it's going to guarantee to stop or even eventually deter somebody intent on murdering school children. Deterring school shooting is going to take a wider ranging approach, much of it dependent not on government intervention, but on community involvement. This horrific situation, the murder of our children, is going to take each one of us being willing to stop our knee-jerk emotional reactions, ending the blame game, and most of all, most importantly, stop waiting for the government to act and instead to ask ourselves, what can we do, what can we do within this community to help provide an answer? This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
High school sports is back this spring on the NCW Life Channel. Do you like baseball? We've got you covered with the Wenatchee Panthers and the Eastmont Wildcats. How about softball? We have you covered there too with fast pitch action right here. How about lacrosse? Yep, got you covered there too with the Wenatchee Valley Thunder. And of course, there's boys soccer. Whatever your interest, we've got you covered on your home for high school spring sports, the NCW Life Channel.
Join me for Life with Lisa Bradshaw on NCW Life. It's not about my life, it's about yours.
Spring has finally arrived, and with the new spring colors comes Easter. There's plenty of good reasons to shop at Wenatchee Valley Mall, like a visit with the Easter Bunny. The Bunny will be at the mall through March 31st in the center court. Find the times the Bunny is hopping on in under the Events tab. From haircuts to new shoes and everything in between, Wenatchee Valley Mall has it all under one roof. Get all springy with yourself now at the Wenatchee Valley Mall.
Lake Wenatchee YMCA camp programs focus on our 4 core values of caring, honesty, respect, and responsibility. Make this summer's memories last a lifetime. Pick your theme week today with a wide variety of safe and engaging activities. Lake Wenatchee YMCA Camp is the ultimate summer fun in the sun camp for children, teens, and families. Reserve your child's week today.
And we are back at 42 minutes after the hour, maybe opening day of the Major League Baseball season for Wenatchee Wild Hockey. They are now deep into the playoffs. They have reached round 3 of the BCHL playoffs. The Trail Smoke Eaters are in town Friday and Saturday. It's been a long time since this guy paid us a visit, but he is back. It's your friend of mine, the broadcasting voice of the Wenatchee Wild. Give it up for our checker.
Hey.
Hey, how are you, my friend?
I'm outstanding.
You look good. Nicely done against Vernon. Went to 6 games. After the first 2 games, for those of you who don't remember, Wenatchee Wild lost the first 2 games and won 4 in a row. Let's go back to Game 3. What was the mindset of the team going into Game 3 against Vernon? Because who's kidding who? You got to win that one. If you go down 0-3, you got a hole you might not be able to get out of. What was the team's attitude going into Game 3?
Well, I'll tell you what. So we go up into Vernon and we play Game 1 and got shellacked. And, credit to Vernon, because they took advantage of everything we gave them. We gave them a lot, and they capitalized on everything we gave them. And they skated out of there with a 7-1 win, and there was nothing to feel good about at the end of that game. But we also knew that, it's the old standard. If you go on the road, you play those best-of-7 series. If you can win one on the road, you've taken away home ice advantage. And it's not all that difficult, right? I mean, you win 1 out of 2. Bam, you've just stolen home ice advantage, which took an entire year to acquire. So we knew going into Game 2, we felt good that we had a chance to right the ship and skate out of there with a split. And the guys came out with a invigorated effort. I mean, they looked good right from the get-go. Well, Vernon got ahead, and they ended up winning 3-1. Now, we lost the game, but we knew even by the end of that first period, we knew that, last night was an anomaly. It's not indicative of how this series is going to go. We know where we stand. We're going to be okay. You just have to stay the course. And so we went ahead through Game 2, and yes, we ended up losing, but we felt like, we shift this thing back home, and we feel very confident that, we can get through this in one game at a time. That's just what you got to do. You can't win both games on one night, no matter how hard you try. You can't score 2 goals on one shot. You just got to whittle away. And I think the guys felt very confident and good about that opportunity. And obviously, they stuck through it and made it work.
They came through. They won Game 3 at the Town Toyota Center. They won Game 4 at the Town Toyota Center. Now it's a whole new series. Game 5, back up in Vernon. Talk about the last 0.6 of a second of the third period. I was listening. I was stunned. We're going to go up 3-2. This is fantastic. Talk about that last goal that just.
Well, it
deflated the arch.
It was that entire game was such a battle, And now at this point, early on, you got teams that are kind of, they're poking and prodding each other, kind of the little extracurricular, trying to knock each other off their game, trying to establish whatever, dominance they want on home ice, this and that. By the time you get down to Game 5, now we're into a best of 3. And now you got 2 good hockey teams that are just like prize fighters, just going toe-to-toe. And they're duking it out. So the Wild had a 2-1 lead. And actually all the scoring only came in the first period. So they're holding on this 2-1 lead, and they keep rolling on and rolling on. And then you get down, and it's getting later and later in the third period. You're thinking, okay, you're wringing your hands, and it's pretty close. Well, then it gets down to about a minute to go, and Trail Vernon pulls the goalie for the extra skater, so they've got the pressure, and they're coming. And you're thinking, okay, we can hang on. 11 seconds left, and they're pressuring. We have a face-off in our zone. We win the draw, and then we clear the zone. Now, we're shorthanded, too, by the way. No, we weren't, actually.
No, I don't think we were, yeah.
No, we weren't. But we were 6-4. Well, so we clear the puck, and we tried to saucer it the length of the ice. I think it was Cooper Zek that did it. Tried to, hit the empty net, right? But what he did that was smart was rather than fire it the length of the ice, and if you fire it down, as soon as if it crosses the end line, doesn't go in the net, then it's icing when it comes back. Well, he sent it really soft, which was smart. It's the right play.
Eats up time.
Yeah, and he ended up, and it just missed the net. Okay, so now there's 3 seconds left, and the face-off's coming back into your own zone. So they win the draw. And it was, in 3 seconds, right? They win the draw back to the right point. Sharp pass back across to the other side. Bing, bing, bing. Shot. And it went through. Vanderbeck was up trying to block it, and it just went past him and just right past the leg of Park, and bam. There was 0.6 seconds on the clock, and the game was tied. And you're like, oh, man. Your heart just sinks. You're like, no.
I was listening to
Did
Arch
that just happen?
on that Friday night, and and now you're in the playoffs. They play 20-minute overtimes, not the usual in the regular season. It's a 20-minute. It's still sudden death, but it's 20 minutes. Nobody scored in the first overtime, and now we have the highlight package that you put together for us, right?
Yeah.
So here are the highlights from Game 5 last Friday night up in Vernon. Check it out.
He shoots the center just wide. Over to Lambert, and he launches it ahead on the far side. That pass broken up by Zek. Zek gains the zone near side, flutters it ahead. Nice move. Sauter shoots. He scores! Lucas Sauter finishes it off. Cooper Zek stole the puck away, dished it off to Sauter, and Sauter coming down through the right circle, flipped it up over the shoulder on the glove side of Ty Taylor. Wenatchee Wild draw first blood here on the road tonight. They lead it 1-0. 4 minutes and 14 seconds, time of the goal for Sauter. That's his 5th of the playoffs. Spins it in front, steered away Park. Picked up by Sauter, and he feathers it back through. Right up the middle, here comes Weatherby. Weatherby cuts to the near side, shot, score! Jasper Weatherby from the right side. Put the shot across the front of Taylor's body, underneath the blocker, inside the post and in. And the Wild lead it once again, 2-1. Jasper Weatherby's 7th goal of the playoffs. And it comes at 16:34. Picked up by Lambert, comes into the zone, poke checked away, and Souter's got it. Souter up on the left side, curls in, drop pass. Sasaki back to Souter, his shot just low and wide. Rebound, shot, score! In double overtime, the Wenatchee Wild pick up the victory. They win the game 3-2, and they now lead the series 3-2. And we'll head back to the Town Toyota Center tomorrow night for a chance to clinch the series. Gorgeous entry, and Lucas Souter, probably the best rested player on the ice after serving 12 minutes of penalty time in that first overtime. And the Wild win it 3-2. How about that?
Incredible game. They hung in there. They could have easily got, I cannot believe we gave up a goal with 6/10 of a second left, and now we're in overtime. But as you mentioned, Chad was probably the most well-rested player on the ice.
Or not Chad, it was actually Souter.
Yeah, okay.
Who
Lucas,
would set
right.
up the shot, and then Sasaki
does that
finished it off.
play a role with knowing that the overtimes are now 20 minutes in the playoffs, and they could very well play a full overtime and into a second overtime? Does that play into line changes and things like that, where the guy's gassed? How does that change strategy, knowing you can play 20 minutes?
It doesn't. I don't think.
Okay.
I think both teams are equally tired. They've both been slocking it out there for 60 minutes plus, and I mean, the overtime could last 6 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you don't play for managing 20 minutes. You don't know. Every shift, every second. I mean, it could be over. So. You know, the adage, I guess, play till the whistle, play till there's no tomorrow. That's what you got to do. You just got to get out there and grind.
Did you guys stay overnight Friday night because of the length of the game, or did you hop in the bus and come back overnight, or did you not come back until Saturday?
Well, it was interesting the way we managed that particular trip. We went up and stayed in Penticton, which kind of cut the travel down a little bit. So we went up and stayed in Penticton on Thursday night. And then we got up on Friday and we were there, and then we had just from there, it's less than 2 hours to buzz up to Vernon. So we went up there, played the game, came back down, and then woke up in Penticton on Saturday morning, and then we were able to get a nice breakfast there. The guys got a stretch, and they kind of treated it almost like a road game. We went through some of the same routines that we would normally do on the road, and then it was just a short bus ride back. And we pulled up at Town Toyota Center about 4 o'clock, and not much different than showing up on the road at any other rink. And the guys went about their preparations and got ready for Game 6.
And what a Game 6 it was. The atmosphere was absolutely electric. If you missed the highlights that we gave you on Monday, here is what happened at the Town Toyota Center last Saturday night, Game 6 against Vernon.
Back the other direction. Here come the Vipers. You got help. The shot scored. Derek Brown with a shot from the left circle. He had help with Lambert going up the middle, but Brown pulled the trigger. And from the left circle, he rips it home. A low, hard shot on the blocker's side. Svetlikov works it back ahead for Brown. Brown comes in over to the right side. Shot and a score by Lambert. He's in up high for Zek. Back to Galambus. He unloads. He scores! Zach Galambus rockets it top shelf. Shoveled back down low by Stratton. Back out in front for Karamanis. He's in, he shoots, and he scores. Turned over by the Wild in the defensive zone. It bounced to Karamanis, and he was able to step in alone. Had no one in front. He made a nice move, cut hard to his right, and tucked it in around behind Park, low on the glove side. Then it hit his skate as well, and now it's Weatherby. He shoots, he scores! Jasper Weatherby rocketed that shot high on the glove side. Off the bar and in. Sharply across left side. Zach shot tipped in front. Score! And we are tied at 3. Weatherby jams it down low. It's for Souter. He gets tangled up, cleared successfully by the Vipers. That's going to about kill it off, and they are going to dodge a huge bullet, but this game is going to be decided for the second night in a row in sudden death overtime. He comes over on the near side, spins, he shoots, save made, rebound, cleared not out. Vanderbeek again, shot, score! Signed, sealed, delivered. Game over, series over. The Wenatchee Wild win it in overtime.
I could look at that all day. The noise inside the arena when that goal was scored in overtime was deafening. It was so cool.
You know, it's funny. You know, this is it's my second season with the Wild, and granted, I had been here as a visitor, so I'd seen this place in action. But the crowd on Saturday night was off the hook. It was unbelievable. Now, mathematically, there may have been larger crowds at times, maybe in terms of numbers. I've never heard a crowd that loud in the building. And not just when the overtime winner was scored, throughout the night. Even when we were down, that crowd helped win that game.
No question.
There, absolutely no question. That energy from that crowd starting in the third period, the way they were lifting the boys up, I mean, it was palpable. You could touch it. It was unbelievable, and it was so exciting to be a part of.
Then there were 4. This is the third year of the Wenatchee Wild in the British Columbia Hockey League. This is the deepest they have ever advanced in the Fred Page playoffs. The Smoke Eaters in town tomorrow night. Talk a little bit about Trail.
You know, Trail is a very good hockey team. And you know what happens is I think they get overlooked a little bit because they finished 4th in this division. It's a tough division.
Toughest one in the league.
Well, it's really one of the toughest divisions in all of Canada. There's 132 teams in the Canadian Junior Hockey League, which spans 10 leagues across Canada. And I dare say that interior division's got to be as good as any of them. You know, so yeah, they finished 4th. There was a big chunk of the middle of the season where they were playing pretty depleted, Trail was. And one of their big stars is Cale Howarth. He's a UConn commit to play Division I college at Connecticut. He's also already been drafted by the Columbus Blue Jackets in the NHL. He was missing for a big chunk of that. Also, there's the World Junior A Challenge was going on, and there was a few players. Ross Armour, who's one of their leading scorers, was gone at that tournament. Seth Barton, one of their top defensemen, was gone. So they had a bunch of guys that missed a bunch of time. Cale Howarth was gone. He had some scholastic things he was doing, and so I mean they were missing, you know, a lot of their firepower. And yeah, they finished in 4th, not by a whole lot, but in a tough division. They weren't that far behind us.
No.
So if you want to say, well, Trail, they finished 4th. Well, Wenatchee, guess what? You only finished 3rd, so you're only just you know. Now we beat Trail 4 of the 6 times we played them, all 3 at home, but they beat us twice up there.
Yeah.
One of the games that they won up there, they beat us 2-1. We outshot them 41-19, and they won 2-1. And their goaltender had a phenomenal night. So they've got all ends covered. They've got a solid defense, and they've got a very potent offense. They've got great veteran presence, and they've also got some of the top rookies in the league as well. So they're a very deep team, and it would be folly to look past them. They're very strong.
$10 for any seat in the bowl. You're going to get $10 worth of entertainment both Friday and Saturday night. Going to be a phenomenal
tickets
series.
are $7.
Really?
$7. Spring break special.
That's right. That's right, because tomorrow is the last day of school, then they're off all next week.
Yep,
Great
spring
deal.
break, baby.
And you can sit anywhere in the bowl that you want to sit for both Friday and Saturday night. The Trail Smoke Eaters are in town. Arch, we got about 10 seconds left. Advancing to the 3rd round, we're past the hump that we couldn't get past the first 2 years. Is this a special team?
You know what? I think yeah, absolutely. It's a very special team. There's no question. They've already proven it, but the job remains undone, and they're going to work tomorrow night, baby.
Happy opening day. Go Dodgers.
If Cy Young was still alive, he'd be Cy Old.
See you Friday. Bye.